Hi guys, so when Boris Johnson resigned on Thursday, part of his speech was about how he got Brexit done. People were singing his praise, both in the pro-Tory media and members of his own party. They were congratulating the Prime Minister for getting Brexit done. If Boris Johnson got Brexit done, then why the heck did Dehenna Davison, a Brexiteer, talk about how Liz Truss is the type of leader who will stand up to the EU and recognise that Brexit will deliver, and I quote, the brightest future possible? Have a listen to this.
I think, for Liz, and I'm not here on some part of some like Liz leadership campaign at all, but I think...
Or maybe you are, we don't know.
I'm not, I'd be honest if I was. I think she's really forthright and she's really trying to find a way forward that works for Britain. Because at the end of the day, we had this incredible opportunity in 2016 to make a decision about what we wanted our future to look like.
And what does that future look like? GDP down 4%. British businesses that import struggling with paperwork. British companies that export struggling with paperwork. British farmers thrown under a bus in order to keep Brexiteers happy. That's the future you're talking about? Along with a whole list of other problems.
I was a Brexiteer. I was a very proud Brexiteer. And in the end, that is what the British people voted for self-determination, for us to be able to move forward, take control of our own borders, make our own decisions about what our future looks like. And I think that is such an exciting prospect and opportunity.
Exciting. Please point out how completing extra paperwork is exciting. How struggling to export to the EU because, well, on the other side, they have to pay extra customs duties that they didn't have to pay before. Tell me how that's exciting. Tell me how exciting it is to look at a field that you have and watch your plants, the plants that you would be hoping to harvest, rot in that field because you can't get access to the workers. How exciting is that? Friggin' idiot.
And are you happy with the way it's turning out?
Well, we really need to be able to embrace all of the opportunities that brings. And unfortunately, for the people of Northern Ireland, that just isn't the case at the moment. So I think...
This really frustrates me. These idiots, I don't know if she's ever visited Northern Ireland. Probably has never visited Northern Ireland. Probably couldn't find Northern Ireland on a map. But she's suggesting that, well, the people of Northern Ireland are not able to benefit from Brexit. Northern Ireland is outperforming the rest of the UK with the exception of London, economically. Businesses in Northern Ireland want the protocol to work. They want it implemented. They don't want this disruption that's taking place, this political charade between the British government and the DUP. They want to get on with their business. And many of them, some of them are struggling because they import all of their raw materials or their produce from Great Britain. But others are embracing the opportunity that they're able to export to the European single market and export to the UK internal market. Now, there are businesses in Great Britain that would love to have that. The Scottish Government would like to have something like the Northern Ireland Protocol, but it's not possible. And here you have a Brexiteer who has probably never visited Northern Ireland, who could probably not find Northern Ireland on a map, suggesting, yeah, well, the people of Northern Ireland need to be able to benefit from Brexit like the rest of us.
Taking a forthright approach with Europe, really standing up to them, because they certainly don't always operate on a level playing field when it comes to these negotiations.
I feel like crying. Standing up to them. What the heck does that mean? Standing up to the EU. We need to stand up to the EU. We need to bang our fist on the table. Figuratively or literally? Really, these people are insane. And the negotiations, I'm sorry, but the negotiations took place in 2019. When it comes to if she's talking about Northern Ireland here. The negotiations are over. There is no, well, now we need to, negotiate a bit harder. We need to negotiate stronger. We need to stand up to the EU. Are these people insane? Or are they trained to speak like this?
Standing up to them, making sure that we get the brightest future possible. Now, COVID...
I'm sorry to keep interrupting. So it's the EU's responsibility if Brexiteers in Britain get the brightest future possible. So, sorry, I thought you took back control. At the beginning of this rant, she was talking about how we took back control and now we are in charge of our destiny. And then she's saying, well, we need to stand up to the EU in order for us to be able to have the brightest future possible. So are you saying that the EU has some control over the brightest future possible? You're not really selling Brexit very well.
The war in Ukraine.
The oven-ready deal?
I'll finish my answer first, thanks, Alistair. COVID and the war in Ukraine clearly have created some huge challenges that we need to overcome. And unfortunately, I think for some of those people that have always been anti-Brexit, they are conflating some of the issues to say, oh, Brexit's an absolute disaster, of course it's not working. But actually, I'm incredibly optimistic because we have the opportunity to strike new trade deals, forge new trading relationships with countries all over the world. And I have a very optimistic vision to know that Brexit is going to work and is going to deliver the prosperity that our country deserves.
It will. Sorry. I thought in 2016, these people were saying, as soon as we vote to leave, the prosperity will be there. 6 years have passed, and she's talking about it will. Just be patient. It will be arriving sometime down the road. You know, Jacob Rees-Mogg said 50 years. What is her time frame? Because not 6 years isn't the case. GDP has dropped 4% as a result of Brexit. That's nothing to do with Ukraine or the cost of living. This was before the war in Ukraine. The OBR said Brexit is damaging to the economy. So how long do we have to wait for these sunlit uplands, these wonderful opportunities? Because if 6 years, and this is what frustrates me about the BBC as well. Why did the BBC journalists not intervene here and say, wait a minute, you do understand that the Northern Ireland Protocol is mitigating the worst of Brexit. The Northern Ireland Protocol is protecting Northern Ireland businesses. They have access to the single market and the internal market. Maybe she doesn't know this. Maybe she needs to be told this. I find it frustrating because you have these people who have zero understanding of what they voted for, being invited onto these shows to talk about Brexit. She doesn't understand Northern Ireland. She doesn't understand the Northern Ireland Protocol. Otherwise, she wouldn't have come out with that sort of rubbish. But she's invited on because she's a Tory MP, because she's a Brexiteer, and because she likes to talk. There are no opportunities. Otherwise, Jacob Rees-Mogg would have found them. He even reached out to the Sun newspaper readers. That's how desperate he was. And he still has come back with nothing. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.